Hello, everyone. I wanted to get on here and talk about what's happened to us. Us, meaning the collective, the human race. We have been manipulated, and a lot of you already know this, but I don't think a lot of us know the degree of the manipulation that's taken place. We have been manipulated all the way down to every detail of our lives. I'm talking about every aspect of our lives has been manipulated. We've been lied to about many things to the point where we really should question whether or not we believe absolutely anything we've learned or been told. They have used fear to do this. And fear has been the best way for them to control us. And fear is the worst condition we can be in. It's the worst state that we can possibly be in because it lowers our vibration to the point where we become malleable. We become controllable. That's why they like to use it. And it is a very hard thing to accept that this has happened to us. Many people will have a very hard time with this because it's really tough to deal with the idea that we have been so stupid, that's what people will think, that they've been stupid enough to be lied to be controlled and manipulated. So a lot of people will have trouble with this. They will not be able to process it in their mind. So we kind of have to be patient with people in this respect. Some of us have no trouble because we've seen this and suspected it for many years. But many people are really going to have trouble with this, and we really, really need to have patience and deal with them in a loving way because this is not easy. It's not easy to start to understand that everything we knew is a lie, or nearly everything. I mean, quite a bit of what we have learned has been a lie. And they have used fear to do this. And I think it's important to talk about fear in the respect that fear is something that we really need to eliminate from our lives. And it comes a point when we start to understand that fear is undermining us in every way. And I think the events of the last few years have really shown us that. Some of us anyway. But what I want to talk about is where fear comes into our lives when we don't know it. We have been so conditioned with fear. They've used fear to manipulate us so much, to control us so much, that we are conditioned to have a fear response to everything. And we are trained in that way that the most fearful situation that they're offering us must actually be the truth. And that has been a mistake on our part. They've conditioned us that way. It's not our fault, but that is how they've done us. And we need to see it. We need to see what's been going on. Now, we are really, really malleable if we continue down this path. So we have to learn to see our own fear before we can even correct it or eliminate it. And the main way that fear comes in the back door is in the form of negativity. And I mean any kind of negativity, but the most controlling types of negativity are through what we absorb every day. And I mean through watching the news, getting caught up in TV shows about doomsday scenarios and any kind of situations that can't be rectified, the destruction of the human race, illness, death, disease, all that stuff, anything on the news that we're absorbing is actually creating fear in disguise. We've gotten so used to the idea of fear that we don't even know when we're afraid. So therefore, we don't have control over our vibration. We don't have control over what we create. Because if we're operating from a fear state, we're creating a fearful reality. And if there are a lot of us doing this, we're creating it collectively. And really, the only thing we need to do in order to create a better reality is to get out of that fear state. And one of the first things that we need to do is stop absorbing negative content. We need to be diligent about being more positive and not getting caught up in all the negative aspects of life. I know a lot of people who think that the most negative things they see are the most truthful things they see. And this is not the case. This is not the case at all, but this is how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to think that everything is a potential disaster. And as long as we believe that, everything will be a potential disaster. So it's really important for us to learn about the negative forces in our lives and how to just walk away from them. Turn away from the news. Turn away from anyone telling you the world's coming to an end. Turn away from any kind of doomsday scenarios. Turn away from chaos. Turn away from all those things. They are creating fear within you. It's fear that you won't even know is there because you're so conditioned to have it there. We need to get so positive that we cannot stand negativity. Like, we need to get so positive that we can see it coming. We can see the negativity coming from 1,000 miles away because it's so obvious to us. That's how positive we need to be. And I realize that that doesn't happen overnight. I realize that that's a difficult thing. But I want to tell you that I'm a person who has been at the lowest anyone can be. And I pulled myself up by rejecting the negative. It took some time. It didn't happen overnight. But we have to understand that the negativity is actually fear in disguise. And the way we start to eliminate fear from our lives is to get rid of the negativity, to see it everywhere it is, everywhere it sneaks in, and eliminate it. That's where we begin to see the fears that we have. They have put us in a mental prison, and we have unknowingly allowed them to do that. It wasn't our fault, but it is our responsibility to undo it, to see it and undo it, because we can do so much better. We can do so much better, and all we have to do that is to change what's up here. That's all there is to it. Eliminate the fear. Reject the negative. It is fear in disguise. free yourself from the prison.